Dopest mornings. Free love is the best love. Uh. What's happening, y'all? Oh no. I'll screw the title up. It's alright. What's up, AK? Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm. That's so crazy, man. Yeah, I'm good now. Okay, okay, okay. We in a building. Hold on. Get my hair out the way so I can. Nice sound in the back. We ready. The music doesn't come through? What? And what is AK talking about? Y'all tripping. Ah, can you hear it? I don't understand how you can hear me and not the music though. Oh, y'all about to drive me crazy. Lord have mercy. I'm trying to get to the topic. Got Nikki calling a motherfucker. People can't see me. Motherfuckers can't hear me. Lord have mercy. Can we get to the topic? What up, Trey? Mm, mm, mm. That's all I'm trying to do is get to the topic. Again, let me shout out everybody that's in the broadcast. Dopest mornings to y'all. Today, well, we started off Friday a little bit. We started talking about deadbeat dads. Oh yes, Trey birthday. Happy birthday, brother, and congratulations on your battle victory yesterday. My brother Trey. Boy, that boy was ooh boy, that boy's knees was knocking yesterday, wasn't he? Did y'all see Trey? I was fucking with Trey. I was like, ooh, you nervous, huh? You nervous, huh? That boy was scared as a kindergartner. First day of school, wasn't he? Nigga was scared to show off his fresh braids and everything. Now let me get off of Trey head right now. I ain't got time for this. That boy was nervous. So we was talking about deadbeat dads. We gonna kind of expand on that, and just talk about fatherless homes, the importance of a father being in the home. Um, Again, I was before it ended. I was gonna shout out Plus Size Chick for doing some of the research and helping me on this. Big help. She came up with some good stuff. Um, First off, as far as me, I grew up in a fatherless home. Um, I never really knew what it was to have uh my father in my life on a consistent basis. You had those times where they would be there for maybe a summer. You spend a few weeks, and then I can honestly say I went from like 6, maybe 6 years old to about 14 until I even saw my father. My dad left when I said, yeah, that was about the same age. I went from like 7 years old to about 14 till I even saw my father again. Um, so that I don't want to talk about fathers. Okay, well that's fine. I understand. It's still a problem. You know what I mean? It's still a problem for a lot of folks that didn't have fathers. So I understand that. Again, back to me. 14. My dad attempted to get back into my life. So my mom, you know, she kind of felt an obligation because I hadn't been with my dad to send me to live with my dad. And I lived with my dad for probably like 3 months before I ran away. Like I ran away. It, it was a whole nother, uh, my dad was abusive, like mentally and physically abusive. Cause the '80s crack hit. My dad got caught up in that shit. So my dad gave his life to drugs. You feel what I'm saying? These stitches over my eye right here, that wasn't from no street fight. That's from my father. See them stitches? My eyebrow? That's from my dad. Every time I look in the mirror, that's a reminder right there. And I was a baby when he did that. I was a baby. I was like, these stitches is the reason why my mom left my dad. I was a baby. Mine was a great man till that dope hit him. Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate. Yeah, mine did the same thing to my mom. My mom didn't know English. I mean, didn't speak English that well. Coming to this country, he brought us to this country. And, she didn't know English that well, and I guess he thought she was gonna be a weak woman. So he was abusive well before drugs. Let's get that straight. You know what I mean? He had issues before drugs, but drugs completely took him out of my life. Like completely. That 3 months when I was 14, me and my brother LaRon, we ran away. We dipped the fuck out. Because I think we both had bad report cards. And we knew we was going to get not just beat. Like, my dad didn't do whoopings with belts when we was 14. We got ass kickings. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was going to get treated like a man. So, with that being said, uh, and then later on, actually before I went to live with my dad, my mom had got remarried, and my stepdad was great to me from like the age of like 9 to about 12. Like my stepdad was the coolest thing since sliced bread, and but once he got engaged to my mom and married to my mom, all that changed. He became the most mentally abusive person like I ever knew. Like we had hardwood floors, and if he thought I was lying to him, he would make me get on the motherfuckers with shorts on my knees, and he used to make me hold these two big ass rocks, and I used to have to hold them like this. Your knees is hurting, cause the motherfuckers is digging into the wood, and you sitting there. And I remember I used to be so fucking devastated. And I talked to my mom about this numerous times because she used to walk by. I'd be sitting there like with tears running down my face, and I wouldn't, it would be something I was telling the truth about it. Yeah, like shit like that. Like he was fucking, uh, like once he like got married to my mom, he was very fucking mentally abusive. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that's my experience with fathers. Now, during this time, my mom brought men into my life that were friends of hers. Maybe it was people that she dated that she remained friends with. They took me to play basketball. and all them type of things. So I had good men like Bobby and a lot of Bobby Gomez and Mr. Ron Brown, and so it really was a bunch of people that became my father figure. Um, but I never dwelled on that. Some people do. Some people, they hang on to that shit. The rest of that, I don't hate my dad. I don't, if he call right now, I'm gonna talk to the nigga. You know what I'm saying? That ain't, that ain't. It's what it was. This was the cards I was dealt. But let me get into some of this research that my girl plus size love put in. Um, and this is crazy because yeah, I ain't have nobody. Yeah, this first stat it fucked me up last night. Um, because it's me. I mean, my oldest son, didn't grow up in my home, although I was there for him his whole life, weekends, whenever, and he's actually lived with me numerous times. 85% of youth who are currently in prison grew up in fatherless homes. 85% of the people in prison grew up in fatherless homes. That's a hell of a number right there. 85%. 7 out of every 10 youth that are housed in state operated correctional facilities, including detention and residential treatment, come from a fatherless home. These are crazy numbers. 7 out of 10, that's 70%. That's 70%. That's bananas. 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes. We're not talking about boys, we're not talking about girls, we're talking about both. 63% of youth suicides, good morning, boo boo, are from fatherless homes. Hmm. I know for myself, it was only so much my mom could do, and I took full fucking advantage of that. You know what I mean? The cultural barriers, us being from Ethiopia, and her not knowing how a lot of shit worked in America. Like me growing up, I had a field day with that shit. I had no man around. So when it came to sex ed, my sex ed was the first girl that gave me some. That was my sex ed. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to learn it from a man. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't get to learn, you know, how to treat a girl or woman from a man. Wasn't appreciative at all. Yeah, I mean, okay, well, let's talk about this. Because I'm going to be honest. I wasn't very fortunate in, you know, the being raised with a father part. But when I did have my first children, my first two children from my first wife, my ex wife, my practice marriage, I like to call it, uh, as much as, like I said, I don't get along with her, we can't have a conversation. Um, and she has done, things happen. Um, but she never kept my kids from me. So I don't know that element. I do know a lot of fathers, so I'm gonna speak on that. Queen Dopest. I do know a lot of fathers that want to be fathers, but they can't be fathers because the woman, if she can't have them, she don't want them around the child. So there is that aspect. That's one reason a lot of women end up being abused by a man, no father, no home. Well, I'm gonna say this again. In a lot of instances, let's just keep it real. Mallory don't have a father besides me, and I gotta step it up. I gotta have a talk with Mallory. Okay, she old enough. All y'all kids is my kids. The fuck. So anyway, um, we can't forget that aspect. Um, yeah, Cortland too. Kisses while you putting the fuck. I don't know why you put that. I'm just talking shit. But stop trying to throw me off my train of thought. You my baby daddy too. Oh my lord. Now you got Queen cutting up. See what y'all done started some bullshit. I ain't supposed to be serious. I'm supposed to be serious. Hold on, let me put this shit back on. Get us back started. I guess we gotta start over. Cause y'all motherfuckers. Ooh, I got a fucked up classroom today. Let me put the theme music back on. Get y'all back in tune. Y'all ready? Let's get it back going. Welcome to Dopest Mornings. Free love is the best love. And I only know one love. Or nothing. Can I be the teacher next? You better be careful. You know what I'm saying? Y'all crazy. No, but real shit though. You gotta take that into account. Some women, unfortunately, they think in their mind, my child don't need nothing but me. When they don't make it in a relationship. Hey, good morning. Um, with the significant other. That's another dynamic that gets looked over because I got a lot of friends. Not a lot, but I got quite a few friends that would love to be fathers, but their relationship with the moms, it hinders that. Let's just say it hinders that whole process. You know what I mean? Good morning, everybody. We are talking about fatherless homes. And we haven't even broke this down to white, black, or any of them kind of things because I'm gonna get into that part in a minute. So we're gonna keep running these numbers down too. 63% of youth suicides again are from fatherless homes. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 32 times the average. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. It's frustrating when kids are you, and that's the fact. I remember and I can only speak from my experiences, when I first left my ex-wife. That's one of the things she tried to use to bring me home was the kids. And my thing was, I could be a better father if I'm happy than in a situation. You know, the thought of not being there for my kids, it never crossed my mind. However, if she would have been a total douchebag, she could have moved the kids somewhere and not told me. She could have moved out of state. She could have did a lot of things try to prevent me from seeing my kids. So I'm fortunate and blessed that she wasn't that. She really does love her kids enough that she wanted them to have their father in their life. You know what I'm saying? Some women aren't like that. My thing is, um, and this my dad was like this. My dad told me after a certain amount of time passed, he was shamed. You understand what I'm saying? Like he was too embarrassed. Like once a couple years passed and he hadn't seen me or contacted me, You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He told me it's out of his mouth. I'm doing this by myself. And I know. I know how, look, like I said, I grew up in a single mother household. And although I have brothers and sisters, I'm my mother's only child. You know what I'm saying? All my brothers and sisters are from my dad, like, other relationships. I'm my mother's only child. I'm the only family she has in the United States. I mean, she got one cousin. My cousin Saba lives in Dallas. My mom doesn't have any family in this country. None. She ain't got a cousin to go stay with, a uncle, a auntie. All she got is me. Period. That's it. You know what I mean? Well, my dad's family, shit, it's a whole clan of them in Los Angeles. It's hundreds of them. The Harveys in Los Angeles, Watts, Compton. It's hundreds. My brothers, sisters, my uncles, aunties. My grandmother till she passed. Um, let's. Do you want to hear this number? This is crazy. I don't understand women like that. A kid needs a father in their life. Period. Man, shout out to the ones that's forced to play both roles and take it on um head on, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of them didn't ask for that. It's a lot of them didn't ask for that. Like, that's just the truth. It's a lot of them that didn't ask to be dumped with the role of being mother and father. I'm going to tell you this. I used to think growing up, like, damn, a young boy need his dad. But after having two girls, my first daughter changed my life. My youngest daughter, I can't even describe how I feel about my youngest child. You know what I'm saying? How much my youngest daughter loves me and like looks up to me as her father. Like, I see how important it is for a young girl to have her daddy. You understand? Because that's the impression of a man she's gonna have the rest of her life. You understand what I'm saying? That's the impression. My child, for the rest of her life, is gonna compare other men to her father because I'm the father that she sees. I'm the man that she sees every single day, that she hugs every single day. So that's what she's gonna um, use to compare. That's what she's gonna use to compare. Like, I gotta get that love that I got from like my father. You know what I mean? So I never thought about it in them terms until I had a daughter. And then, like, y'all know how much I love my oldest son. Um, but I didn't really find out how much my son loved me until he was about 17 years old. It's the truth. We was walking right down the street right here. We was walking his brothers and sisters home from school, and my son said, Dad, man, I love you, man. I said, man, I love you too. And then he looked at me and he like looked me in my eyes. And he said, nah, man, I really love you. And me not being in the home with him and, being there every day, sometimes he had to rely on what his mom, who, like I said, we ain't the best of friends. And she said some things that were untrue. So, your kids develop. I remember when we separated, before the divorce, I said, like, we made a promise to never speak bad about each other to our kids. I don't think people understand how important that is. Unless your kid, unless the parent is, going through something in trouble or whatever. But like just out of anger, because y'all don't get along, to speak negatively about the parents has such a long lasting effect on your child, that you'll never really understand that until they get older. A woman's first mind as a man should be like my father. I love my daddy more than my mom. Sometimes this is the stuff we need to get us through our days. Yeah, it's a number of ways that a man can damage. And see, but then you fall into that thing. Okay, now she's gonna um and maybe have a kid now because she got this fucked up perception of a man. But a woman can only do so much to teach a young boy though. You know what I mean? Because like I said, my mom did the best. She put me in sports. Like she from Africa. She didn't know shit about sports. She had to learn basketball because of me. She had to learn all these things because of me. And look, I'm so goofy. I'm gonna keep it real. And this shit was awkward as fuck. I didn't have nobody to talk to about sex. So when I was, youngin', I'm not gonna say my ages and shit like that, but when I was a youngin', I was just goofy enough to walk up to my mom and talk about the shit. And she had no answers. I just walk up to my mom and start talking about shit. You know what I mean? Thank God my parents is still here. It's the truth. Certain situations, you know, uh, arose, and when it came to, and then I'm like one of my first girlfriends, like we used to always get caught by her mom, and her mom used to call my mom. My mom didn't give a fuck. My mom was like, "What is this bitch calling me for?" You feel me? I swear to God. I swear to God, my mom would be like, "What the fuck is this bitch calling me for?" It is, I do too. I do too. But growing up, cause I didn't experience this. Joy experienced this part of it, and it's got to be hard too. When you're growing up in the house with both your parents, and then your parents leave, that traumatized my oldest daughter. She blamed her mom. She probably blames her mom to this day for me leaving. She had to go to counseling because she despised her mom. Like you couldn't keep my dad home. Like she hated her mom. When the actuality was me and their mother, we just married young. Mm, yeah. Well, I've always relied on that. We got 16 people in here. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up for me, y'all. I always relied on my elders. Real shit. My grandma, her brothers and sisters. I'm very fortunate. My grandmother had a lot of brothers and sisters, and these were the people that like. Even when I was young, I just loved sitting around listening to their stories and talking. But me, my brother Samori, and my sister Angel, I had a talk with Samori one day, and I said, man, we are gonna be the ones to break this cycle. Can't do it for everybody. You can't control everybody's relationships and families and this, that, and the other. But we sat down I was 9 when my dad left and blamed my mom, even though it was my dad's fault, 100%. And that is true, Joy. That is. Um, yeah, I couldn't stand my. I love my dad. I ain't gonna lie. I fucking love my dad. After all I told y'all about him, the stitches, the beatings, the how he treated my mom, like I could talk shit about him right now, but if he pulled up, I swear to God I would smile. Cause he's funny. Like he makes me laugh. There's certain things about my dad that I fucking, you know, even when my dad was on drugs, his muscles and like he was ripped. I still fucking loved my dad. You just wanna love your dad. You just wanna love your mom. Like that's what you want. You just wanna love them. You know what I mean? One of the most beautiful things that I've seen in recent years is Queen Dopest's mom and dad. They raise beautiful kids, man. Come on now. Mama Dopest, Papa Dopest. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Because you gotta remember this. If you raise fucked up kids, who gonna be there to take care of you when you old, when you need help? You know, Queen Dopest don't mind sacrificing anything to be there with Mama Dopest, right? Because Mama Dopest been everything to Queen Dopest. You understand what I'm saying? You should know this because I worked in geriatrics, just like you, Diva. I used to be amazed, and this is crazy. We talking about this and how it's gonna relate to when you get old. When you don't look out for your kids and you don't look out for your family, when you get old, you're gonna be sitting in that fucking nursing home by yourself. Man, I remember it was this black lady. She was at the nursing home. I used to go in there. I'd be like, why y'all ain't changed her clothes? I open up her closet. She ain't have but one little sundress in there, right? That she wore every day. So I walked down to social services. I said, hey, you know such and such in room such and such, bed A? I said, why she only got one thing to change on into every day? And the lady fucked me up. She said, man, do you know that woman got 6 kids and she got money? I said, what? So I don't know what the disconnect was there. But I know this lady was sitting in there in her last years of her life, and she didn't have no visitors. She didn't have nobody to come bring her clothes. None of that. I don't want to die like that. I don't want to be on my last years of life, um, and my kids don't even want to come see me. Yeah, they be waiting for them to die. I, Diva, I trust me, I know. It's one of the reasons, like, to be honest, it's not the main reason, but like it's one of the reasons I got out the medical field. That shit used to break my heart, man. That shit used to break my heart. Like for real. Man, if I got sick right now, my daughter is 8 years old. And trust me, she would wait on me hand and foot at 8. I can't even imagine what she'd be as a grown woman, but at 8, she ready to take care of her daddy right now if something happened. Mine's neither. Mine's neither. Ain't no way. That's part of the reason why we ain't never moved out of California. You know, I couldn't, everybody knows, well, that's close to me knows what I think of Joy's mom. Joy's mom is the most special person I've probably ever met in my life. Period. Like, it's just the truth. You talk about loving somebody from the first time you met them. Like that's how I felt about Joy's mom when I met Sue. You know, she's everything. And I was like, she suffers from MS, and I couldn't imagine leaving, the state and taking her. I couldn't do that. I fucking love that one. So, yeah, I couldn't leave her. I couldn't leave her. My mom want to go back to Africa. If that's the case, I might never see my mom again. You understand what I'm saying? Too many videos of nursing home people are not true. Yeah, you know why? That's double. That's a double-edged sword about the nursing homes. You got a lot of uh, um, it's a tough job. First of all, let's keep it real. They give you too many people to take care of. I'm gonna just keep it real. It's almost impossible for all the patients to get the proper care that they need. You gotta take shortcuts. Every motherfucking person that work in a geriatric field, when they get ready for their shift, they try to find ways to take shortcuts. Whether it's the showers, whether it's to making the beds, whether it's to putting the clothes on, whether it's shaving the patient, brushing their teeth, all that. You always got to take shortcuts because you don't know what's gonna happen, and you got 13 patients. You got to give 6 of them showers before lunch. Trust me, I know. I've been there. I'm speaking from fucking actual experience. Yeah, some of them supposed to get showers, but you don't have time to get this person that's combative in a shower chair and get them in the shower. You don't have time to do all that. So some of them be like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna sneak this bed bath in, make sure he smell good." Like I seen it all. I seen it all. I seen it, Diva. Trust me, when I tell you I know that, I seen it all. So that's what happens when that's what happens when you get old though and you get put in a nursing home because either you didn't treat your kids right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this is how it go. It's a repetitive cycle. It's a repetitive cycle, man. It's a repetitive cycle. Um, Again, I want to stick to some of these numbers because shout out again to Plus Size Chick for doing this research and finding these numbers for me. Um, Here's a stat. National Public Radio. 24. Listen to this number, man. Golly. 24.7 million children in the United States live in a home where their biological father is not present. That doesn't mean no man is present, but that means the man that gave birth to you um, is not around. I'm fortunate, to be honest, to even know my dad, to even know who he was, based on the lifestyle that he lived and his commitment. Like, I'm fortunate to even fucking know who he is because now I know kind of what makes up some of me. If you don't know your dad, you don't know, like, my anger issues come from my dad primarily because he's the same as me. Short fuse. Um, right, right. Yep, that part. Check this out. Girls who live in a fatherless home have a 100% higher risk of suffering from obesity than girls who have their father present. This shit I would have never knew. Wherever you got this shit from is amazing. I'd have never knew this. I would have never knew this. Teen girls from a fatherless home are also 4 times more likely to become mothers before the age of 20. Let me read that part again. Teen girls from fatherless homes are also 4 times more likely to become mothers before the age of 20. So, guess what? This goes back to what we were saying before. The image of your father, if you don't have no image, you searching for that image in every man that you run into, and then guess what? You get taken advantage of, a nigga talk you out your panties, and then you got a baby. And now you got a baby that's also gonna have no father in their life. It's a fucking repetitive cycle, man. It's a repetitive cycle. Wow. They seeking that man's attention. That's right, plus size. On everything, love. That's deep, man. That's really deep. Yeah, they talk you into becoming a prostitute. Um, you know, when I was in that life, I can guarantee you most of the girls I knew didn't have no daddy. And you could tell. Good morning, treasure. Yeah. Because they don't have, like, if I go in the house and Marley is talking on the phone, you know, she getting older, so she be on the phone with her friend, and they'll be like playing dolls or something on the Nintendo. And she even say something about a boyfriend. I be in there like, what? What you say about a boyfriend? Girl, I don't want to hear nothing about no mother. You know what I'm saying? I be in there going crazy. Like, what you got on? Take that off. Cover yourself. Did it? That mean a lot. That mean a lot. Because if she see in her daddy, like that's not acceptable, she gonna carry that throughout life. I ain't gonna lie, boys are way harder. I got two of each. I got two of each, and I thought the same thing. It's harder to, for some reason, it's harder to connect. I don't know why, but it's harder to connect with a boy when they young. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe I ain't figured it out. But like both my daughters, I was, you know, always hella close to. You know, me and my oldest one not so much now, but like growing up. But shit, if I had to choose between having a boy or girl, I would always choose a girl every single time. Every single time. Yeah, my son is a wall too. He hard to read. You can't tell. Look, yesterday he walked in the kitchen, and this how he walked in the kitchen. So I'm looking at him the same way. He walked past me. I look at Joy. He walked all the way in the kitchen, walk out the kitchen, walk past me, and then get to the hallway and go, "Oh hey, Dad." Let me put this music back on. Let me put this inspirational music back on, y'all, because I'm feeling some kind of way. Hit man, I'm feeling some kind of way, man. I didn't. I'm feeling some kind of way, man. That's my guy though. That yeah, he shuts off. He's very secretive, man. He be acting. Look, I pray to God my son is never on the scene of no murder, especially as a witness, cause he be acting guilty about shit he ain't even involved in. You go in this room, he won't even be doing nothing but watching YouTube on his phone. He'd be like this. Like, damn, nigga, what you throw your phone for? Swear to God. And he always been like that. He always been a AMJ. He always been like that. I walked in his room the other day. He opened the door. He just threw his fucking phone. Hit man. He threw the shit. I said, damn, what was you in here doing? Nothing. And look, we didn't used to be like that. Like, I mean, he always been like that as far as like, but he really ain't doing nothing because we used to go in there and take the phone. Be like, nah, give me that, give me whatever you own. I'm finna look through your history and all that, and you never find nothing. He'll be doing what he said he was doing, nothing. But man, if he can't be on the scene of no crimes, cause he just gonna be looking guilty, like, huh? Nah, I just was standing here. They gonna be like, nah, sir, come downtown with me. Come on, Mo. What they call you in the streets, Mo? Your name is Chase. They call you Mo in the streets. Where you get that name from? Oh man, I got one. You know what? I don't know why Joy did this one year. I think it's because I wanted to be a private investigator. I still kind of do want to run my own private investigation company. I still do. I think like when I'm 50 something, 60, that might be something I look into. But I always wanted to do that. Man, Joy bought me a spy cam once, right? And I'm gonna tell his ass when he get out of prison. I'm gonna tell my son when he come home. Man, look, she bought me a. I was like, he wasn't even living with us at the time, though. So what the fuck she buy me this spy cam for? And so I had this spy cam for the longest. I had no use for it till my oldest son moved in the house, and he's worse than Mo. Everything he does, he looks suspicious, and he's the opposite of Mo. He was actually doing the shit that we thought he was. You feel me? So I used to set that shit up. I was like, where should I put it? I was like, where should I put it? I still got it. I just found it the other day. I'm gonna show it to y'all. This tight. It's waterproof and everything. Came with a little thing. Yeah, man. We used to spy on him. Joy was in on it. We used to spy on that boy, and we caught him. We would catch him. He'd be so, oh, I'm going to this girl's house, and he'd never make it to the motherfucker, and all kind of shit. We used to catch him all the time. Oh man, that's a comedy. That's comedy in itself. Okay, let's get back to this. These numbers. Okay, compared to living with both parents, living in a single parent home doubles the risk that a child will suffer physical, emotional, or educational neglect. I think my mom, I think my mom's a little lady. You know what I mean? It's a little Ethiopian lady. So like when I got to a certain age, whoopings wasn't gonna cut it. So my mom used to try to have to go above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? My mom done bit me. Shit. Try to hit me with an iron. Cause I was bigger than her. And she just felt like whooping me wasn't gonna do nothing. I got to a certain point, like you ain't finna whoop shit. Like, I'm just getting real. You get to a point, your mom a little lady, like, you not finna whoop shit. I'm not finna hurt you. I'm not finna curse you, mom, but you not finna whoop me. I'm finna walk out this door. And that's what I ended up doing, honestly. Shit. As a teenager, I left the house. My mom was like, if you think you a man, I mean, and I'll never forget certain days in your life stick out to you, right? It's decisions, crossroads. And I'll never forget that. She was mad about me being on the phone. I was 15 years old. I had a little car, so I was never home. And she told me, if you think you a man, then go be a man. I'm like, enough said. I grabbed two big ass hefty bags, threw as many clothes in them motherfuckers, and put them bags in my car, and I left the house. And here we are, all these years later. I know my sister first time. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, but I mean, 75% of adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes. 70% of juveniles in state operation institutions have no father. 85% of youths in prison grew up in fatherless homes. Like, these fucking numbers are fucking ridiculous, y'all. This ain't 15%. This ain't 20%. We talking about big numbers. 90% of homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. I ran away. I was homeless I was homeless at one point. That shit is mind-boggling, these numbers, man. 85% of children who exhibit behavioral disorders come from fatherless homes. I mean, we could just dive all the way into this shit, to be honest. It's like when you don't have both your parents in the house, certain things happen. When you don't have your parents to teach you about sex, how to, if you're a woman, if you're not there or able to teach your daughter about how to be a woman, cleanliness, how to carry herself, how to cross her legs when she's sitting with a skirt, all these things that you supposed to impart. If you go back to the earliest of civilizations, parents always, the fathers taught their kids to hunt, to build, to like, they always handed down, you know, the knowledge. Knowledge is key, right? So I didn't have a father around to tell me about sex. So when, you know, a woman that was a family friend, I was 11, 12 years old, I was being sexually abused and I didn't even know it by a woman. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't even know what I was doing was wrong. So I never, from a fucking young age, you have a distorted sense of sex, of women, of all of that. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't even think I was being sexually abused till I met Joy. I was telling Joy about it, and she was like, "That's abuse." I'm like, "What?" I ain't look at it like that. I was like, man, it was an older woman wanting to do stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was abuse. It was abuse. It was no way, wasn't two ways around it. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, later on in life, she still used it against me. I was so dumb. I was a teenager. And just the mere thought of her bringing that up to my mom, it used to fucking scare the shit out of me. Like, she used to make me watch her child. Like, if you don't watch my kid, I'm going to tell your mom about, you know what? All right, I'll watch him. I'll watch him. I ain't going to go out with my boys tonight. I'll watch him. What's up, Peacemaker? But I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea. But all of these things develops your mind. This is what creates your behavioral patterns. How how I treated women. That's, to be honest, how I treated women for a number of years until you realize, like, through counseling and other things, like, and it's the truth. It's the truth. But when you lose it to a woman that's in her 30s, you know what I'm saying, and you 11, you know what I mean, and you learning these deviant acts from a woman that's in her 30s and you're 10, 11 years old. Come on, man. Now, with that being said, I know we have single moms that are in the broadcast right now. Some, I know for a fact that the father is involved in the child's life, whether they like him or not. Uh, Others, not. You got others that don't have. But again, the one thing I can say about my mom, there was a number of men in my life that they all became my father figures. I took a little bit from my Uncle Ron, who's not my uncle. He's not my uncle, but he's my Uncle Ron. I took some from this man named Ron Brown when I was in uh, beginning of high school. He was my neighbor, but he took a liking to me. He taught me about the nation. He was in the nation. So he used to educate me on, certain things about don't believe everything is the truth, investigate, study. He used to come to my basketball games. This was a neighbor. This man never owed me nothing. I didn't grow up around him. None of that. This man came to all my basketball games. Um, so I mean, I'm looking at these numbers and it's fucked up. I'm look. I'll let it be the other way around with the young girl and the older man. Right, right. I think that's what I kind of thought. Like, she's a woman. I'm a boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, to say that like I wasn't interested in what she was asking me to do and the things that went on, yeah, very much so, because I was a young boy. You know what I'm saying? This shit was, it was foreign to me. But I think the other way around, um, it does get more slack because you're not gonna have a lot of dudes that say, "Oh, I had a woman do this to me and that to me and whatever." You know what I'm saying? There's 64.3 estimated numbers of fathers across the nation. 26.5 million number of fathers who are part of married couple families with their own children under. So that's like a third. That's crazy. Mm. There's 2.5 million single fathers out of 64. 2.5 million single fathers. Damn. But there's a lot of factors that go into fatherless homes. Like I said, you do have some women that are vindictive, and they'll say, I'm the mama and the daddy." And some of them say it because they have no choice, and others say it because that's what they want, and they don't realize the damage it's doing to their children. Because I can't let all women off the hook on this one, because you know, as a black man, as a man, period, I got friends that I know for a fact want to be good dads. You know what I'm saying? And because, they don't want to be with the woman and all that kind of stuff. That's me, but I don't tell her that out loud. Look, I I wish people will open their eyes, like for real, to what loving your child is. You know, because I don't think my mom really sat down and explained to me like all this stuff until I was like older. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she explained all this stuff to me till I was older. So I didn't necessarily understand why my dad wasn't around. I didn't understand why, you know, my dad ain't. You know what? First gift my dad ever bought me was, I think, was at my wedding. I can't remember no gifts. I can't remember no birthday gifts. I don't remember no Christmas gifts. I don't remember none of that shit. I don't have no memories of none of that at all. So, with that being said, at some point, I just can't. You know what? I mean, bottom line is this: I love my kids. I just, I can't. Any man or woman, I've never understood that. I've never understood how my dad could choose drugs over me and my brothers and sister. I never could understand that. And even after I'm grown, you choose those things over your grandkids. So that's another generation. So when my dad was trying to, when my dad started recovery, part of, I guess, his recovery was to come talk to me. And we sat right out here. We sat right out here. And he told me, he said, as part of my thing, he was like, I want to know, how has my drug abuse affected you? And do you hate me because of it and so forth? So I said, nigga, I got grandkids now, nigga. Like, I don't care. That's over with. Nigga, you got grown grandkids. You feel me? Now you got great grandkids. Nigga, I don't care. If you can't see with your own eyes, I broke that cycle. That was my issue with my mom. We never got along because I felt she trucked drugs. Yeah, I don't understand that. Y'all see me, I blaze the trees every day, right? I blaze the trees every day. I would fucking be damned if I took $1 out of something I had to pay a bill with. You feel me? I've only not, my kids have only not woken up to me in the house one time. I had a show to do. I was still doing the hip hop thing. I had a show that was on New Year's. It was kind of, a little bit ways away. So I ended up just staying. I've never stayed away from my kids, like for a night. They've spent more nights out than I have away from them. One night. One night. I used to have a rule when I was doing radio and music, and all my partners knew it. Hey, y'all, I would not be leaving the house until I took my kids in to go to bed. That was the rule. And I lived by that. I wouldn't give a fuck if Jay-Z was at the studio. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Hey, man, Dre, such comes to the studio tonight. All right, man. I'll be there after I put the kids to bed. That was more important to me. That was more important to me. You feel me? It's what you it's what you find important in your life. It's what you want to do is important in your life. But you also have to have a mate, the person you decide to have a child with. Because I never thought I'd have any more kids. after my first two, but I encountered somebody in my life that I knew had the values. Because again, I met her mama. I fell in love with her mama. Like, oh shit, this is from what you come. It changed my thinking. You feel me? It changed my thinking. And so now you engage with this, engaged in this life with a person that came from, if you heard her earlier, she was in a two-parent household until she was 9. I've gotten to see over the years how her dad and his actions have affected her. You understand? Him being gone, him going to prison, how he treated her mom. And as you can see, as she said, she blamed it on the mom at first. When all actuality, it was this man that violated and, disrespected the code. You understand what I'm saying? My shit happened so young. I was 2 or 3 or whatever. My mom left. I never, I never knew to blame my mom for anything. You feel me? I just knew this nigga never was around. I loved the man. I have very, very little respect for my dad. I have very little respect for my dad. I'm glad I got to know him at all because, like I said, I get to see where some of my underlying behavioral issue and reading these numbers. Like I'm in these numbers. I'm in these numbers. Like looking across these numbers, because put my business out. I've been arrested 40 sometimes. I've been arrested 40 sometimes in my life. Them years between 15 and 21, I can't even tell you how many times I got arrested. Guess who I had to call? From a men's jail. From the men's central jail. From the Twin Towers. I was just talking to my mom the other day. I said, Mom, remember the last time you had to come see me? On the 4th of July? Never forget it. Last time I got arrested, I was looking at 18 months in prison. And my mom sat in that line all day to come visit me. And by the time she got up to that window to talk to me, I had never seen my mom look so tired. I had never seen my mom look so tired. Fast forward. Fast forward 20 years. I had to go see my son through the same kind of plexiglass. Same kind of plexiglass. Did I fuck up not being a responsible parent when he was young and letting him see the kind of lifestyle I was leading? And he ended up mimicking that exact same lifestyle and went to prison behind it. I'm talking to my son, looking the same way my mom looked 20 years prior. Joy will tell you. Anybody who was around when my son could tell you, I couldn't talk to my son on the phone. I would go see my son before he went to prison at the county jail here. I was a mess. I was a mess. My son was more worried about me than he was about himself when he got locked up. We used to get off the phone, I'm sniffing and sniffling and wiping my nose and crying. Man, he's supposed to come home any day. He's on any day. He's on any day. I blamed myself. To this day. It's not too many people could tell me anything to where I'm not going to always blame myself partially for his incarceration. Even though you could do everything for your kids, they still have to make the right and wrong choices. But I'm always going to feel like that because I'm his father. You understand what I'm saying? I take pride in being his father. I love being his father. I love being Ashanti's father, Kasai, Chase, Marley. You know what I mean? I love being a father. All of this shit y'all see me do and try to carry myself and I speak about it every day with certain principles and a certain character, I do that for them. This my legacy. We just spoke on my dad's legacy, right? We spoke on my dad's legacy. His legacy was a drug addict that wasn't there for his children, that he failed to reach his optimal potential, right? That's not going to be my legacy with my children. Just like when my son come home, all he says when we talk on the phone, Dad, is you was the only one there for me every step of the fucking way. Every step of the way. Anytime I needed something, any kind of phone call, uh, cash apps, if you had to, whatever, get your car, get your license, we did everything. I was there. That's what's gonna stay in my son head. My dad was always there for me. So guess what kind of dad my son is? Even though he's incarcerated and he made a mistake, guess what kind of dad my son is? What? My son is a phenomenal father. And he got different baby mamas. And he still makes sure he get all his kids. And have them all. Go on, do what y'all gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Phenomenal father. Loving father. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Because he know his father love him. What? Go figure how that worked. Go figure how that worked. Real shit. Now my son is a loving father. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully, he put this setback behind him and he'll be able to continue to be that to his kids and be able to teach them through his failures. You can't teach your kids nothing if you ain't been through nothing. That's one thing. You just gotta hope and pray, like that they realize the mistakes you made are not the same mistakes that they want to make. That's big. Um, you got certain men that, I mean, to be honest, and we didn't even get into the child support and all that about niggas don't want to like financially take care of their kids. They'd rather go buy some weed. They'd rather go to the club. They'd rather buy some Jordans. They'd rather put some rims on their car. I know a man like that. We all know. And he's rule number one when you join a family. I watch this nigga with Jordans on, buying cars, and I see his daughters with holes in their shoes, dirty, unkept, hair not done. You feel me? It's a disconnect right there. Yeah, and you know, maybe tomorrow we could talk about single mothers. I have to look some of that stuff up. Talk about single mothers and single parents, primarily single mothers. How you get around that? And let me tell you something about child support. Tell me. Glow, I want to hear it. That is true. That is true. That is true. That part is true. Hmm. Then you got the fellas that feel like, oh, I pay child support. It ain't going to the child. I'm helping this woman put a roof over her head. You know, I was that way. I, I was I was like, fuck the system and all that. I'm gonna take my kids shopping. I'm gonna take my kids and buy everything they need. I'm gonna do this. I don't need the government. I don't need this, that, and the third. You feel me? I was that guy. I ain't gonna lie, I was that guy in court too. I was that guy in jail too. Well, when I was originally married, I'm gonna just keep we keeping it gritty, grimy. My first wife was getting a county check sent to her mama house while we was married that I didn't know about. In order for her to get, and we was married, living in the house together, 2 kids. And in order for her to get that check, she wasn't getting no financial, aid from the father. So while I was married, you know, um, I was accumulating child support for kids that was under my roof. That's what led to me leaving her. I mean, just keep it all the way 1,000. Cause I'm like, if you're gonna hustle the government, at least let me be in on it. How the fuck do I end up $23,000 in debt for kids that's under my roof that I pay their child care, that I pay, everything for? I took that shit to court and I won. Well, actually, I got arrested on the way to work, and that's how I found out. That's how I found out. I got arrested on the way to work. What? Swear to God. I said, I'm not paying a dime. Um, I got arrested the second time for it. And I literally, in the courtroom, told the judge, you could put me under a jail. That's not going to help my kids. But I'm not paying her shit. That's the truth. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. I would never pay her shit to this day. To this day, she wouldn't get a nickel from me for nothing. You could stick me up under a jail. She didn't do, yeah, she committed welfare fraud and they didn't prosecute her. But they didn't mind throwing me in jail. A man that was working. You want me to pay child support, but you gonna put me in jail for some kids that I'm already taking care of? So now you want me to lose my job and then you still expect me to pay? The system is fucked up too. That's a whole nother fucking dynamic that we could get into. Oh yeah, I can't stand her. Joy in here right now. I was on my. Let me tell you how crazy women is, and how vindictive. And this is why I said earlier that you can't be in a situation where you talking bad about your child's father or mother when your kids is young because they develop, you know, especially if you're just doing it because you don't like them. Now, if they a crackhead, if they a murderer or some kind of crazy shit like that's different. But just because you don't like them, my last back surgery, my last back surgery, do you know I was on the phone with my kid's mom. Joy, you remember this? I was on the phone with my kid's mom. Hey, I'm about to have back surgery. It's a major operation, but I don't remember. I was on fucking a drip. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of fucked up. Man, this girl told me that I was faking it. I lost my mind. I lost my mind. I said faking it. You think doctors just open you up because you just You think doctors cut your stomach open, pull all your guts out? You think doctors cut your stomach open and pull all your guts out on some I'm faking this shit? I mean, I cussed her the fuck out in the hospital room. I cussed her out on the phone. Bitch, what? Like it was crazy. And that's how me and her conversations are. We can't get through one conversation, not one, without fighting. Right. Facts. That's facts. And guess, even though he's married now, OneLoveFam.com's dad is remarried. He still love his ex-wife more than anything in the world. Trust. He still love his. He wish he could do all that over again. He wish he could do all that over again. The robbing banks and all that. So what? I mean, shit. You know, he did his thing. He was trying to provide for his family, I guess, the best way he knew how at the time. But the other shit he was doing, so, I mean, I guess the whole point of this whole topic is that if you are a single mom who the father is not involved, you got to be creative. There's no other way. You can't just say I'm gonna be mama and daddy to the boy. Now, if you got a girl, again, you still have to have positive male role models to reinforce what a good man is. A good man to your child cannot be what she sees on Love and Hip Hop, rap videos, Instagram, YouTube, or nothing like that. It can't be. So they got programs. They got programs where they got mentors and different things, or especially my One Love family. Y'all kids got me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all kids got me for sure to talk to. Whenever they ready, however old they are, whatever. They always have me. That's a part of being family. You understand what I'm saying? And that's real. Like Boo Boo, her daughter, I know Boo Boo daughter damn near since almost since birth. When she old enough and needs somebody, a man to talk to, I'ma be that man. You feel me? I go for all of the kids, the One Love kids that's in that situation. I wish more of them wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm here for. I know how it is. Like I said, everybody, I could say, man, I left the house at 15 years old and I made it to where I'm at. I did this shit all by myself. No, I did not. No, I did not. I had a lot of incredible people that helped me along the way. It's a lot of couches, a lot of floors that I done slept on to get to the point in life where I'm at. You're a smart individual. I believe I'm just honest more than anything. I think I'm just not scared to be honest. A lot of people scared to be honest about the things that are deficient or why they have deficiencies in their life, in their behaviors. And I realize more than anything why I do. It may take me years, man. It took me a year of counseling to even understand, like, I got anger issues. Well, where the fuck do these anger issues come from? And you gotta reevaluate, soul searching, reevaluation of self. Like, these are all real things. Like I tell y'all, I can't do things that I know are against what I really believe because I gotta look at myself in the mirror. I'm gonna give you an example. I was a hell of a drug dealer. When I was 17, I didn't have to go home. I didn't have no home to go to. 16, I was a hell of a drug dealer. Because I was out all night. I literally would sell dope all night and go to school in the morning. It's just the truth. Straight from the dope house, straight to school. After school, back to the dope spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my life. I didn't have nobody to steer me another direction. It's just that I realized what I was doing. One of the things, I got a buddy of mine, and I was in the projects in Pasadena, California, where I grew up. And my buddy mama walked up to me to buy some dope. Totally fucked me up. Totally fucked me up. But I still had to eat. I still had to hustle. I didn't sell her no dope. But I was like, it didn't stop me from selling dope. I mean, I told her no, but it didn't stop me from selling dope. And then a year later, it was a pregnant lady. She was pregnant. And I wouldn't sell her no dope. And she sat on the ground and she cried and was begging for it. Like, please. I'm like, you pregnant. Like, are you serious? I couldn't do it. I was done. I took all my dope, sold it to the homie for double up. Um, Gave my burner to the homie Spoonie. You know what I'm saying? I was done. Someone changed my life. And it was hard. You go from making $2,000 a day to zero. I signed up for general relief. I was getting a GR check. Back then it was different, boy. You was getting a lot of money when you get a general relief check from the welfare. I was getting food stamps. I used the food stamps to pay the lady who I was staying with. Here's money for groceries every month, and I give you some of my GR check so I could go to nursing school. You feel me? I did all that so I could go to nursing school because I couldn't live with destroying families the same way my family was destroyed. I couldn't deal with the fact I was going to help make somebody else daddy or mama a crackhead like my dad was a crackhead. I couldn't live with that. I got to look at myself in the mirror. I got to look at myself in the mirror. I was in a 16-month licensed vocational nursing course through what they call the ROP out here in California, the Regional Occupational Program. So for like the first 6 months, you do like nursing assistant kind of work. You get to learn how to because nursing assistants are the first line of care. Like they're the most hands on with a patient. So we went from that for 6 months. Then you start learning about, you get into like the heavy book learning on medications and meds and treatments and, different kind of, sores and all that kind of stuff. Phlebotomy, taking blood, all these different things. 16 months. I was so fortunate because that program was always like pretty filled. And I took advantage of it. I took advantage of it. I didn't, you can ask Shishi and all the homies that come to my broadcast on tag. They'll tell you. Man, I used to see that nigga Dre be in the hood in all white. I still be with the homies. I have my nursing uniform on, kicking it after school, after work. That was me. But I was not going to end up like them with no future, with no way. My first baby mama, my ex-wife, she told me I'll never bring your child to prison to see you. That changed my life. Fucked me up. I loved that little girl that much. I loved her that much. Like, for real. I was like, without a doubt, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Everything that I thought I loved, I never understood. You know what I'm saying? It come with sacrifice. To say I wasn't embarrassed. I was sleeping on my homie Corey auntie couch while I was going to school. I used to have this man named Charles, an older man in my class, used to have to pick me up. I went from driving Cadillacs on 13-inch Daytons and low riders and shit to catching a bus. Gotta humble yourself. You gotta humble yourself, man. Sometimes you gotta humble yourself. Most times you gotta humble yourself. So I didn't come from something where I could say, oh, um, you know, my mom did her best. My mom is always gonna be my idol. You know what I'm saying? To come to this country, not know anything, and to make a life for yourself, attempt to raise a young man in a culture that you don't know nothing about. Like she always will be, that. You know what I'm saying? She'll always be that to me. I always want to be that to my kids. I don't want to be, oh, well, my dad grew up without a dad. So, I grew up without a dad. And, my daughter grew up without a dad. Now she, this age and, got kids. And my daughter is in these statistics, my oldest daughter. My oldest daughter is in these statistics. Let me find it out. Where was that? The statistic about where uh uh how many people without fathers in the house end up with children before the age of 20. My daughter is in that statistic. She is one of those numbers of people. And now her son, my grandson Bryce, is in a house with, guess what? Without a father. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, my mom never had welfare. My mom never sold her body. She did sell a little weed in the 80s and she got caught for it. You know what's so funny? My mom was, selling weed in the 80s. She had a friend. He was sending that shit from Hawaii. And he used to supply like big stars like Diana Ross. Like he had he was rich dude. He used to take me on ski trips and shit like that. He's another dude. When I say I had these male figures around that my mom placed in my life, his name is Paul. And Paul used to take, I ain't never been skiing before to this day. I still ain't been skiing since. But this motherfucking white man took me skiing. I remember he took us and we could buy anything out the ski shop. We was buying jackets and we bought the most expensive ski boots, me and my god brother Michael. And like he took us skiing on ski trips and shit like that. And my mom, and I'll never forget, y'all want to hear this is a real story, and this goes right into this. My mom used to have to do so much as a single mom to compensate for being a single mom. Like when she was selling weed, I had everything before the homies. I was the first homie that had Nintendo. I was the first homie that had this. I was the first homie that had that. And one day I went on a church outing. It was the summer, and in this church I used to hang out at with my friends. They took us to the beach. So man, we went to the beach. We hanging out with these girls. I'm feeling good. I think I was 12. I think I was 12. I'm feeling good. I come home, and we lived in a little apartment. I get to the apartment, the door is cracked. Damn, what's the door cracked? I open the door, whole apartment flipped upside down. The manager of the apartment building comes tells me my mom been arrested. And then I never forget my mom will tell you this shit. My mom called. I ended up getting picked up by Bobby and Jesse, my mom's friends. And I was at their house and she called. She was crying. I went off on her. I told her I'd rather eat beans and rice and wear the shittiest clothes to school than my mama be in jail. Cause I ain't had nobody else. You feel me? Really, technically, I didn't found. I cussed my mama out. I went off. I was angry. I was so fucking angry. Like I can't even tell you. Do you know to this day? Ever since then, 12 years old. I'm 47. My mom is terrified, and she smoked weed all the time. My mom is terrified about buying weed, about having weed, about anything since that day. I get my mom weed almost ever since that day, or till when I got old enough to get weed for my mom. I think I've gotten her herb for her ever since then. For real. Because she could have got deported. Because my mom is not a U.S. citizen. So the ramifications of her selling weed was a lot worse than it was for a lot of other people. You know what I'm saying? She, like I said, if she got deported, ain't no telling how everything would have played out. Because more than likely, I wouldn't have been leaving to go back to no damn Africa. I know that. Knowing me, I'd have ran away or some shit before I did that. So ain't no telling. But it just shows you the lengths that my mom wanted to go through to make sure that I can compete with my friends. You understand what I'm saying? To make sure I could have, oh, my friends is going to buy the new Reebok cross trainers. Oh, my friends is going to Magic Mountain. Oh, my friends is going to the New Edition concert. Or my friends is doing this, that, the third. My mom wanted to make sure that she could provide that. So a lot of women take a lot of risks because they have to overcompensate for the man not being there financially, emotionally, mentally, all these things. You feel me? So I'm in these numbers, man. Shout out to Plus Size Chick again for the research and looking up all this stuff. I'm still fascinated uh, by looking at some of these numbers. How like, but now I think about, I'm not surprised because I look in this room right now and been reading all y'all stories in the chat. It's a lot of us. It's a lot of us. You feel what I'm saying? It's a lot of us, y'all. I see that. It's a lot of us that been affected by less, let's say, less than pristine childhoods. You know what I'm saying? Less than adequate, what I would say, adequate childhoods. Because it'd be easy for me to think, man, where could I, would I be with if my dad, one of the smartest people I know, 2 degrees, served honorably in the military for his country, for the United States. Like my dad is a, a brilliant dude. You know what I'm saying? Talented. Like where would he have been? My stepmom, I didn't bring this up, but my dad got remarried, and him and my stepmom was crackheads together. I became a nurse because of my stepmom, because she was a registered nurse. She lost all that to crack. All that. Lost her license to practice nursing. Like they gave their life to drugs, both of them. She's dead now. I'm separated after 7 years. Yeah, that's tough. You just gotta find a way, man. You gotta. I think most kids, once they grow up, if you at least gave the effort and they show you, you try. I used to always say this: whatever my ex-wife said to my kids, when they get older, they gonna figure it out. And my son did. Once he had kids, and he didn't get along with the baby mama, this, that, and the other, he kind of understood more so that I love him. I just didn't care too much for his mom, even though like I tried to hide that part for the sake of like family. But I see it, man. I mean, I think this is something more people need to humble themselves and find answers to, so your children don't become one of these numbers up here, man. My kids is in these numbers. My oldest 2 kids is in these numbers. Fortunately, I'm in a position with my younger two that I can prevent them from being in these numbers at all. You understand what I'm saying? I can prevent them from being in these numbers at all. And you think about, and it's tough it's tough for minorities. It's tough for black men out there in a lot of different ways. I think it got to be a lot of understanding on both parts. It really does, for the sake of the child. Cause I don't give a fuck how my house is set up. It gotta be set up with love. I don't give a fuck how many people it is in the house. It gotta be set up with love, or it just. And if you love something, you gotta tell it. You know, sometimes gotta tell that person that you love some things they don't want to hear. Just like I tell all of my friends and my One Love family, I need people around me that's not gonna blow smoke up my ass and tell me things that I need to that I need to hear, that I'm supposed to hear sometimes. Cause I'm not a perfect individual by no stretch of the imagination. I got a lot of work need to be done on me every day. Every day should be about growth. Anything stagnant dies. You know what I'm saying? Every day I want to be better today than I was yesterday. That's my life's goal. That's my goal for life is to be better today than I was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Even in the smallest way. You know what I mean? Like even if it's uh adding something to your routine that you've been wanting to do for a long time and maintaining it. If it's talking to your kids better, if it's talking to your spouse better, your mate, your friends, making sure you tell the people that that you love that you love them. Like all these things, and always think about your legacy, man. I think if you think about that, about how people are gonna remember you, if you think about how your kids are gonna remember you, your grandkids, I think it'll make you want to be a better person, like overall. Everyone deserves a little pussy. Yes, it'll make you be a better person overall. Cause I'm a complex individual. I'm complicated. You feel me? I'm complicated. Trust me, I know that. I, I'm demanding of others. But what people don't realize is demanding as I am of you, I'm twice as, three times, four times as demanding of myself. You know what I mean? I'd much rather y'all be mad at me than me be mad at me. You feel me? I don't want to be mad at myself. So, yeah. That's how that's how I do things. Is it right? Nah, it's multiple ways to skin a cat. So I mean, I'm sure it's other ways to get to the same destination. But I know in my life and looking back on my 47 years, I don't necessarily think about all the people that hurt me. Right? I think about all the people that love me. You feel me? I think about all the people that genuinely loved me and helped me be Andre Harvey, aka Dre Harv, BKA King Dopest. Like it took love. It took a lot of love for me to get where I'm at in my life. For real. So I think everybody, if you're gonna take anything away from this, is like love your child enough to be creative. Love your child enough to do whatever it is you have to do before you leave this earth because we never know. You gotta do whatever. Sometimes that means doing things that maybe you don't want to do. Maybe you gonna miss them. Maybe this. Maybe you have to reach out to their father and you don't want to. Maybe if you a man in here, you gotta reach out to their mama and you know build that bridge back to being whole. Because uh, just because you decide not to be with somebody, man, do you know my oldest daughter? I talk to her on the phone every day, unless she was here. I mean, every single day. When my oldest daughter had sex for the first time, she didn't tell her mama first. Guess who she told first? Swear to God. She didn't tell her mama first. And I was so surprised. I was surprised how I reacted because I wanted to break every fucking wall in the house. But I was so fucking happy, y'all. Do y'all understand that? I could have reacted out of anger. The fuck is you doing having sex? You only such and such. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do all that. I was so happy she loved me enough to come tell me. A young girl telling her dad that? Man, shit. I was happy to be in that situation. I really was. Cause the first time I had sex, I wasn't able to tell nobody. You dig? First time I had sex, I wasn't even able to tell nobody. Just like the first time her mama had sex, it was rape. Her mom was raped as a child. I mean, as a young girl. So her mom wasn't able to tell nobody about the first time she had sex when it happened until years later. You feel me? Yeah, she came to me. I remember telling Joy like I can't believe it. Like I was so like taken aback. But you know what's so crazy? My oldest son, I couldn't get him to tell me when he kissed a girl though. I used to beg my son, so tell me what's going on with the ladies, man. And nothing, pops. I ain't, I couldn't get my son to tell me nothing about like his, you know, his little experiences. Now I can't get him to shut up about it. It's different now. I can't get him to shut up about it now, but before, you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, it's crazy. I can't get my son to shut up about women now, but when he was younger, I couldn't pry it out of him, y'all. I couldn't pry it out of him. But I didn't want to use this show to just point out the obvious. It's like tomorrow, uh, I'm a spend some of the day. I'm gonna get my research team on this today, and we're gonna throw out some actual solutions, some remedies to some of these issues. I mean, in a lot of cases, it's not gonna solve everything, um, but I really feel with the amount of single mothers that I know personally in my One Love family that some of them do need a man in a life to talk to be able to go to. It's like you got to figure out something. Um, you know, so our kids ain't in these numbers. 92% of parents who are currently in prison in the United States are fathers. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. I'm just reading these numbers. These all these numbers is really high, y'all. Then we wonder why we have so many issues as a society. And then when we talk about a lot of um, um, it's another part of this that we haven't talked about, and it primarily affects black women, is that this is one of the ways that they have destroyed the fabric of the family in black America, is by putting black men in prison. Oh, I love you, Queen Dopest. You know, yeah, we watched that this weekend. It's a good movie. It's a good one of the ways that they've destroyed the fabric of the black home is put black men in prison for big numbers, for nonviolent crimes, for weed. Uh, we all know the difference between powder cocaine and crack. White people mostly do powder cocaine, and black people mostly do crack. It's the same drug, minus and plus a few different additives and derivatives and shit like that. And you get 10 times as much fucking time, for 100 times as many years for crack as you do powder. It's a lot of things that play into the destruction of the fabric of the black home. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of it's a lot of things. So we could do part two of this tomorrow, because I think we kind of just touched the surface with these numbers. Tomorrow I want to work on solutions. What solutions are available? I'll put them in the tomorrow. I'll put them in the description so people could click the links and go check out some of this stuff. Um, but yeah, all right. So love you. Damn, I didn't realize you guys ran up 2 hours. The hell? Anyway, let me play the theme song for y'all go. We gotta go. We gotta go. Yes, indeedy. Um, Thursday my camera's gear, so I'm gonna be working on this shit. Still putting everything together. Um, yeah, cause I want to be able to, put the information up on the screen for y'all while we doing it. Where's the intro? You'll see it when I post the video. When I post the video, I'm gonna post excerpts. Hopefully later. Remember, hold on. I can show it to y'all. Y'all want to see it? I'll put it on the screen in the back. Oh, will you be able to hear the fucking sound though? D Wood, what's up, bro? What? Hmm. I don't know why this thing always give me a damn problem. Man, we were talking about fatherless homes. Mm, 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 mm. I have no idea why this shit will not play. Mm, mm. Oh, there it go. Can y'all see it? It's just a little short 7-second intro. Hold on. You know, to make it look official when we come on. You can't hear the sound though. But that shit look hard though. So that's gonna pop in at the beginning of the video. Anyway, you know, little did I misplace what? Nah, I didn't misplace it. Nah. Hey, but I appreciate y'all. Where the music? Nah, I I told you. Remember I told you about the remote on this damn projector? So there, I got the volume down on it. But anyway, you'll be able to hear it. Hold on. Hold on. Matter of fact, I do it like this real quick. Let me see. Mm. Let me see if I can show y'all like this real quick. Hmm. I'm downloading it. Just a little short intro, y'all. So that's how the show was look when it come on YouTube. Yeah, I like it. I did some research because plus size chick said the same thing I said when I got it yesterday. She was like, "Don't blink," She's like, "It's short." But I had went and hey, Mean Gene, my love, what's up? I did the research. I went and looked at some other I had looked at some other shows like Breakfast Club and shit like that, and they shit was like shorter than that. It was like 5 seconds. I was like, damn. I kept saying, man, I want that shit to be like, you know, I want that shit to be long, like 30 seconds. Doom, 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 doom. Anyway, y'all, man, we did 2 hours. I guess because it was a important topic. Me and Gene, you're gonna have to go back and watch. Come back tomorrow. We're gonna be working on solutions for, one parent households. We talked about that, primarily fatherless households today. Um, you guys don't know how much I appreciate people opening up and talking about your own childhoods and you know, everything not being so perfect as people like to make they life seem. You know what I'm saying? So I do wholeheartedly appreciate y'all joining in on this conversation. And hopefully tomorrow, if it's people out there that do need guidance, because they doing it by themselves, we could figure that out together. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know the slogan: free love is the best love. I only know one love. That's it. That's all. And I love y'all to pieces if nobody told y'all that. All right? I love you.